Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and today I have here 5 different orchids and 5 different treatments for different disease. Some of them might be caused by pests, others might be a fungal or bacterial infection, and I will show you all of my orchids. I will explain what these orchids are going through and also the treatment that I will use. Hopefully these will help you identify some of the orchid disease that your plant might have and also manage these issues. So without further ado, let's start. So I have here my Ranges articulata. I've spoken to you about this orchid before. It is one of the top 10 orchids in my collection. This orchid, I have it for many years. It was really healthy in the past. It blooms only once a year. However, I noticed that something weird is going on with this orchid, and the problem starts with the cake that this orchid pushed. So basically, this cake is full of dark spots, and these dark spots were spreading. I've sprayed this orchid for spider mite and thrips in the past, so I've looked out for pests, insects that could be munching on this orchid. I don't think what's causing this issue is actually spider mite or thrips or any other insect. I think this plant is dealing with an infection. It could be a fungal infection or a bacterial infection. What are the difference between both of them? Usually the bacterial infection will spread pretty quickly. It's like, stem rot and crown rot and phalaenopsis from 1 week to another week. It will be completely gone. This is a classical example of bacterial infection. However, when you're talking about fungus, it can spread a bit slower. For this reason, I think what this plant has is a fungus infection, not a bacterial infection, because of the way that it's spreading. It has been here for maybe a year and it's spreading slowly. What I will do, what are my secret weapons in this case? It's 2 different things. First of all, because I'm not 100% sure that what's causing this issue is a fungus, I will spray my plant with, that's my first secret weapon, hydrogen peroxide 3%. If this doesn't sort out the issue, I have a second weapon. There is this fungus clear. So basically, it is a fungus spray that's to kill fungus that are attacking plants, especially house plants. So I change my camera, I show you what I'm doing, I show you the treatment and also the state of this plant. Maybe in the future, if you want to hear more, I can update you in the state of all of them. But let's start spraying these and then move on to our next case and instance. So let's start with hydrogen peroxide 3%, just spraying everything. The most important thing in here is for you to spray both sides of the leaves as well, because we don't know where we might have more bacteria or more fungus. So I will spray everything, including the root system. I always spray the root system with new orchids to avoid pests. Hydrogen peroxide 3% is really good to kill snail eggs that might be inside the potting leaves. It also helps to prevent other insects as well, but not super effective with insects like thrips and spider mites, for example. So my plant is fully sprayed. What I have to do now is just wait a couple of minutes, and then I will return to my ranges and I will spray it with my fungus clear. So I removed the other plant from here. I've already sprayed it with the fungus clear. So I place it in the toilet to dry. But I'll show you why I'm spraying another plant with this product. So wait a little bit. And we're also gonna have a bonus plant towards the end. But here, why I have this cattleya here. This is my ROC Toshiawaki. And the reason why I have this here is that this plant has been suffering with scales. And it has a scale infestation that's been going on. And one thing that you can notice, if you don't see the scale straight away, usually it's pretty easy to notice the scale. So one of the things that you had is the yellow discoloration in the leaves. I will give you some close-ups, but all of this discoloration here, this is all caused by scales. It's pretty easy to see when they damage the leaves. Scales is the type of insect that you need to have patience to treat because they will hide near the roots, they will hide below the sheath of your plant. So even when you're like, oh, I cleaned my whole plant, actually you still have some scales. So with scales, the key here is to always keep an eye on your plant and treat it almost every week, so you'll be able to be on top of the scale infestation. In this case, I have that type of white scales. I've showed you this before, but how I treat, what's my secret weapon, in this case here specifically, is isopropyl alcohol. I have a 70% alcohol here. I also have some cotton. So what I usually do is just rub some alcohol and I go to the leaves and to the pseudobulb and I will quickly clean it and we hope that will do it. Let me see if I can grab some scales to show you. I'm quite on top of this plant. I actually cleaned it last week as well. It was full of scales towards the base of the pseudobulbs. It's really, really common to have scales around this section here, very close to the base. So you need to come to the base of your cattleya and properly clear it. But I still have some white dots here and there, which means that I still have live scales. So it's not a lot. There's always some scales that will be hidden here towards the base. I don't see many scales in the flowers, but are always around the leaves. Keep your eyes peeled. Always use isopropyl alcohol and just clean your plant, clean the whole plant. The one thing about scales is that they can hide underneath the potting mix as well. So if you have a large infestation of scales, the idea is to repot the whole plant and then spray hydrogen peroxide, the whole root system, and you might have less scale than you had before. But even so, you need to keep your eyes on your plant and keep cleaning it every time that you see scales. Do a proper job so the plant won't die and will keep growing healthily. It is quite annoying because, as I told you, you need time and spend time with your plant when you have scales, but it's worth doing so. You will have healthier orchids. Oh, here I have a hide. I think I'll be able to show you. Let me see if you will focus here. Probably not, but let me get close to you. Very close to the base of the full of scales. Not possible to see, but there are some white little things here, exactly here, where I used to have a flower spike. Because it's dry and it's very well hidden, it's full of scales here. Let me grab with the cotton and show you. So with some plants, you need to have all the patience in the world. They require all of it. And I cannot get to the base of it, but my cotton is pretty much dirty and I have a little end of the scale infestation here in my finger as well. I'll add some drops of alcohol here as well, where the spikes were coming from, just to make sure that I don't have anything else hidden here. So, but that's it. That concludes, and that's my secret weapon. It's not a magical solution, nothing that you can simply get rid of very quickly and no. But you need to keep an eye on it. Just keep observing your plant. What I'm doing, I'm just adding some drops of alcohol on the places where I cannot reach. So I am completely sure that whatever is there, it will probably die now. But that's it. I'm on top of my scale infestation. Let me place this cattleya back. Let's go to the next plant. So I have here a Phalaenopsis orchid, different from the other orchid that I just showed you. This one also has some sort of yellow discoloration. However, the yellow discoloration is coming across the whole leaf. If you can see, there is a weird pattern here There is also a super weird pattern here that goes around the whole leaf. If you compare with the scale discoloration, you can see already that they are very different. So here, there are two different options. I know that this is not a bacterial infection. It's not something that it will destroy my leaves super quickly and I'm going to lose the leaves. I noticed that this plant has having some issues with blooming. The blooms are not as strong as they were before. The roots were growing very slowly. So I have a few suspicions here. One of the things that could be happening with these orchids is that, I'm sorry, it's raining a lot at the moment. So it's not only very dark, and I don't have any other source of light, but also you're going to probably hear the rain in the background. Anyway, let's return to this orchid. Let me see if I can brighten this up a little bit. So as I was telling you, one option is that this is a virus infection. Virus infection in orchids, they are not treatable, and on top of that, it's not possible to identify if it is a virus infection at home. We would need to send it to a lab, especially a part of these leaves. I will not do it. I can only observe my plant and see what's happening. So my plant is here. It's hanging there. It has two new leaves that at the moment they are looking pretty good. So I'm not worried about them. What I have to observe is that if these will spread to the newer leaves as well. And if my plant starts to get even sicker than what it is right now, I might lose my plant in the future. I have to throw it away. The second option is that also could be caused by a fungus infection. So fungus infection can cause some yellow discoloration in leaves as well. If that's the case, then it would be easier to treat, but nonetheless, fungus infections can also kill our orchids. So even being a fungus is not a super positive outcome, but is that something that I can try to treat at home, while virus wouldn't be treatable. What I'm going to do with this plant, what's my secret weapon in here? The only thing that I can do is observe it, see it how it's growing, observe the newer leaves, see what's happening to them, and also use my fungus clear, my spray. So let's spray it together right now and let's observe to see if it will do something to my orchid. So I have this orange plastic here just to protect the table a little bit. And because these will be full of product, so it will be easier for me to carry this plant to the bathroom afterwards because I will have to let it dry. The first thing with this product here is just a fungicide, is to shake it. I need to shake to mix the product. This product here will leave like a white sheen to the leaves of your orchid, just saying. That's normal, it will be there for a while. I've already applied it to other orchids. And it was okay. I didn't have any issue with the other orchids in terms of growth or problems because of the fungus spray. So I know that it should be okay. The only thing that I'm not completely sure is that it will do anything to my plant since I'm not sure what is causing it. It's the same thing with the first plant that I showed you, that my oranges. Anyway, this is fully sprayed. Just remove it from the table. I will let it dry and let me grab the next plant. There you go. So here I have a thin-leaved orchid, and this one is a anguloa crossed with a lycas. But what happened to this plant is, I've showed you this before, it's becoming a super massive plant, but it's full of grazings. Can you see all of the spots that this plant has? So when I look at the back of the leaves, and when I came back from Brazil after I was away for 3 weeks, I was pretty shocked with the state of these leaves, because they were beautiful when I left. And when I came back, they were full of grazings all over my plant. So for me, the pattern of grazings, looking at these brownish spots and all the discoloration, it's a case of spider mites. I think spider mites are munching down my plant. Just to let you know, thin-leaved orchids, they are pretty prone to pests. Insects love to munch on these plants, and actually having a feast on it. I couldn't protect my plant very well. It was growing super nicely, and one of the things that I want to see is this plant's flowers. It has never bloomed for me, So it made me a little bit sad to have it on this stage. The pseudobulb is pretty large. The only problem is the grazings. How I treat this kind of grazings? Probably no, but my secret weapon here is neem oil. I use neem oil to clean my plants, to protect them, or at least help to prevent spider mites. I will not be able to kill all of the spider mites with neem oil, but if I decided to spray it maybe each 2 weeks, they will keep their population in a very low number, which will help me and help my plant as well. In my experience, neem oil is working super well with this kind of infestation. My systemic pesticide didn't do the tricky, so let's go with neem oil this time. I've showed you spraying neem oil in these plants before. I just do it very quickly this time, just for you to see. And you have to be very, very, very careful with all the leaves. Go and spray both sides of all leaves. And also, you need to spray between the pseudobulbs as well, especially here where you have leaves and you have sheath. The reason for that is that pests, the same thing that I told you about scales, they will hide, especially in this place that are more difficult for us to catch them. So the only disadvantage of neem oil is the smell. Oh my goodness, it's horrendous. I have to clean my whole table after I finish spraying this, but we're almost there. As I told you, it's not gonna eradicate my spider mites. I would have to make sure that I spray my whole collection, and I'm not gonna do that today. The fact that I have some oil in here, it will make it a little bit more difficult for spider mites to actually, to actually destroy these leaves. Will protect these leaves a little bit. So let's see if they can at least keep growing and maturing until they shade all these leaves. The advantage of this plant is that this is the kind of plant that is completely deciduous. So soon these leaves will be gone. So I can restart with this plant if it was in a very bad state. Something that you have to keep in mind or bear in mind with neem oil is that neem oil can, if there are a lot of oils, not only neem oil, any oil that you use to treat your plant, you need to balance it with water, because otherwise it can quickly be absorbed by the leaves, and too much oil can lead to infections as well, and you might have issues with your leaves. So that's just something for you to bear in mind. So here I have my plant all sprayed, but that's it. It's done. It looks like it's nighttime in here, and it's not. It's just because it's raining so much. Anyway, this is the orchid number 5, and I've already spoken to you about this orchid. This is my Dendrobium amabilis, and it's unfortunately because I'm so happy and excited to see this plant in bloom. It's a new plant in my collection. I love this type of Dendrobiums, but what's the issue in here? Can you see all of these gray grazings? Can you see how grayish this leaf look? This is a clear sign of insects. So basically, I do have pests munching on my orchid. I have an infestation of spider mites in my bedroom, and I know that I had spider mites. I could see tiny webs going just all around my plants. I know that this is spider mite. I did spray it with neem oil before. It helped for a little while, and I was away for 3 weeks. So when I came back, my plant wasn't looking good at all, because these tiny insects, they do multiplicate pretty quickly, and from one day to another, that's the result. My plant is in a very sad state, and this is the clear sign that I have insect here. So what's the next step? Doing the same thing that I just did to the other plant. Don't need to show you everything, but here is treating with neem oil again. And while I will treat it with neem oil, I will also have to keep an eye and probably treat it again a couple of weeks. My mistake here was I just let it be, and I told you these kind of organic or not systemic pesticides, they won't eradicate all the insects. They are just a way for us to keep on top of my insects. We are almost towards the end of this video, but just before I continue, just to let you know that if you're enjoying this content so far, please hit the like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe to my channel because it does help me a lot. And there are other ways that you can also support small content creators, such as this channel. One of them is to become a member. I have a membership on this channel. You can check more information on the main homepage, but also underneath the video. There are some products you can access as well. Here, beautiful mugs with one orchid for every day of the week. And on top of that, there are some super thanks. But the most important part is to support me here. Leave a comment on the video. It does help a lot. Anyway, let's return to the main content and the bonus part just to show you, talk to you a little bit about thrips as well. So I have here my Dendrobium, Barrina, and what I want to show you is that the grazing is pretty similar to the grazing of my other Dendrobium. The difference here is that the Dendrobium here, it was mounted down by thrips. So the type of grazing is similar. The difference is that sometimes with spider mites, you can see tiny spider webs if you get really close to the plant. While thrips, you will notice that they will leave like some black dots, tiny black dots behind, and the insect a bit larger. You can see the black thrips or maybe brownish thrips as well. With Phalaenopsis, they leave different grazings. You notice some kind of denting on the main leaves, but we have a ton of other videos about thrips. What I have, my secret weapon with thrips at the moment has been systemic pesticides, so I'm using bonides at the moment. And I think with having infestations of thrips, the only thing that we can do is to use this kind of systemic pesticides, because with thrips, they will destroy all the buds. They will destroy the plants in a super fast speed. So we need to treat it as well immediately. And that was my bonus for this video. Let me return to the table and let's conclude this all. Look how amazing it is. Only because I almost finished recording my video. The day's light is bright and the light has returned. That wasn't the topic of this video at all, but just to let you know, I will give you some B-rolls to actually balance the light a little bit. Anyway, these are some of the weapons that I use to help some of these orchid disease or orchid infestations. I walked through some of the things that are happening to my collection. I hope it can help you with your own collection of orchids as well, and to identify what to do if you have maybe spider mites or a bacterial or a fungal infection. I hope you enjoy this type of content, and as I already told you, if you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment down below, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye!